Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of Tunnel Vision. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham, joined alongside Mr. Triple Double himself, Connor Morrissette, and we have a very special guest, Woody Marks, USC running back extraordinaire. 3 touchdowns on Friday night against Rutgers. He's joining the show. Woody, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Okay, can't complain. Thanks so much for coming on. We're going to have just so everyone know, we're going to have our regular Tunnel Vision show kind of starting at 7-ish. Chris Trevino will be here, maybe wearing a Halloween costume. We will have to wait and see. But we're going to do another House of Victory interview, and they set it up today for Woody Marks. Of course, been having a phenomenal year for the Trojans, running the football, catching the ball in the backfield, blocking for Miller Moss, doing all the things that you would want from a veteran running back, and Woody's been fitting in along with the team very nicely. It's been a pleasure to cover him. It's the second time he's come on the show. We actually talked with him at the the Coaches Club that we did, Connor, earlier. I don't remember if you remember that one, Woody, preseason down in San Pedro. No, it was San Pedro. It was in Torrance.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun. You killed it. I told everyone Woody's going to kill this, and you absolutely killed it. It was a lot of fun, if you remember.
Yeah, I do. It was nice there. Fans and stuff there. It was pretty cool. Got to meet a lot of good people.
Yeah, they loved you, and it's been. I was telling them, like, watch, he's going to have a big year, and you definitely have. Again, I want to thank House of Victory for setting this up. We're going to put a QR code up on the screen if you would like to scan that and donate to the House of Victory, which helps the student athletes like Woody. And I know that they've been a big part of what you've been doing here at, your year at USC. What kind of events have you been doing? How fun has it been for you doing some of these things?
It's been very fun. Just working with House of Victory, just giving back to the community, the kids, and just helping people out if they need it. That plays a big part in me. I love doing things for other people, especially the kids. Just seeing them have a smile on their face is pretty amazing. And then having them come to the game, just for a handshake when we walk down through the tunnel. Like when we first get to the stadium, it's amazing how many kids it is and how happy they is just to see us. So that's like the biggest spark that House of Victory does.
Woody, you're having an incredible season, 989 yards from scrimmage, which is almost 3 more than anyone else on USC. You're pretty clearly the offensive MVP right now. When you transferred from Mississippi State, did you imagine things going this well for you here?
Um, I'll say yeah. It was kind of expected just being up on the Lincoln Riley and the team. Like I know what team I was coming into. It's very good players on this team, very good players on this offense. And once I got here, I seen the work ethic that these players put in. So I was like, yeah, I should have a big year. And Lincoln Riley told me that too. So it stuck.
Yeah, big year for sure, and fan favorite, which we love to see, and you've been a lot of fun. 3 touchdowns Friday night against Rutgers. We're going to talk about that game and stuff a little bit, but you were getting in a groove early. What was the kind of mindset going in there, knowing that you found the end zone 3 times early in that
The
game?
first half, too.
Yeah, the first half.
Yeah, I actually told the O-line, I said, this game is gonna be on y'all. We're gonna follow y'all lead. I think we got the in the huddle, we called a couple run plays, and I told the O-line, let's make it happen. Let's do what we do. All in fall camp, all in spring camp. Let's do what we do. Let's get some holes. Let's score touchdowns. Let's have fun. And they did their job. Shout out to the O-line.
Woody, it looked like for the first time this season, USC in that first half, you guys were just as dialed in as possible and getting whatever you wanted. Lincoln Riley was calling a lot of great plays, and you had 4 offensive drives, and you score the 4 touchdowns. You had 3 of them. What was it that allowed you guys to be so effective in this game when sometimes this year there have been some ups and downs? Against Rutgers in that first half, you guys were making it look easy out there.
Everybody just believing in themselves, just believing in the things that we did in practice, trusting one another, from the players to the coaches, and I think we came out and execute pretty well. Still had a little miss ups, up and downs, but we still came out very well and high energy, and I think we kept it going on to the second half too.
The no one wants to go through a 3-game losing streak, and unfortunately, that's what you guys were dealing with. It seemed like, though, the attitude was still pretty positive going into this Rutgers game. What was it like, sort of, in that locker room? I know you guys really wanted to get a win there, but it seemed like everyone was still positive, thinking you can get a good result on Friday night.
It was very positive through them losing when we lost them games. I was expecting a little different, but just as this culture of the team is pretty brother irritated. We got like a couple older people on the defensive side who loves to speak. Like Achilles, a couple guys, Jamil. They love to speak positive. So we got a great team just to uplift everybody, and I think like the younger people follow the older people lead, and like just to keep the team just staying in one point. And I think the coaches does a great job with that too, just making sure everybody's on steady right there and nobody falling off the cliff. You're gonna lose some games. It's hard to go undefeated, so you just gotta play one game at a time and hope you go 1-0.
Woody, with Keely and Jamil, you mentioned how they addressed the team. What were the themes of those messages, and just what were those speeches like? Without giving too much away, I know what's inside that locker room is private, but overall, what were the gist of those speeches that allowed you guys to respond against Rutgers?
Just one game don't define us. We came up short, so one game doesn't define us. Just go out and show off the next game. Just give you all. You never want to let nobody down. Don't let yourself down. Just go out there and have fun with your brothers and hope for the win to come. Just do your job, no matter what. Do your job and bring other people along. So once you bring other people along, that what makes the game start going good and smooth for each other.
UCLA played Rutgers the week before, had some success throwing to the backs out of the backfield. I don't know if you guys saw that at all. Was that part of the game plan Friday night?
It was just bad us. I think we gonna play our game, USC game. I think Lincoln Riley caught some great plays. Yeah, so really that's about it.
Woody, you had an autograph signing yesterday, so some fans got to come out to a mall and meet with you. What was that experience like? Have you done anything like that before? And just how much fun is that when you have USC fans who take time out of their day to meet with you and they want your autograph?
Yeah, I'll say that was my first time. It was amazing just going there, just seeing the amount of people who came. It was people like Dodgers fan, the Rams fans, and USC fans came out. So it was a mixed culture up there. Some Raiders fans. It was pretty amazing just to see how much they pour into USC football, and they was like Raiders fans. So that was amazing just to see and what they've been watching, and how many ticket holders, like season ticket holders, was there, just to show support to our team, and how much they love this university. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to me that they coming out every game, no matter what, just supporting us. And it was pretty amazing, like how many people came out just to get a autograph or a picture taken, just to support me. That was like big amazing for me just to see.
You mentioned the Dodgers, and so out here in Los Angeles, sometimes we have crazy events going on. They call it like Carmageddon, like the traffic's going to be insane. So the night that you guys played on Friday night, the World Series was up the 110 freeway. The Lakers were playing. And then there was, a big high school game at SoFi, a couple concerts, a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you knew all that stuff was going on. Was that kind of crazy for you? I mean, you don't have to go very far, but there was a whole lot going on for the fans to get to the game.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I think our the running back group was talking about it. We was like, we got the Dodgers playing. It's the World Series. A lot of people gonna be there. Then you got Kevin Durant and LeBron playing down the street. It's gonna be traffic, and then there was a soccer game going on. I think like right across the street from like the stadium. So we was like, man, what do people want to really go watch? And we was like, yeah, they probably love USC, but it's the World Series. You got Otani and Aaron Judge and Soto. So we was like, man, how many people will come to our game? And we was just making jokes. We was like, yeah, they probably want to see them guys. And when we showed up, it was a lot of fans that came to the game. We was very excited for those fans who came, but I think like when the Dodgers game went off, a lot of more fans came in into the game just to see us play. We appreciate that. So it was pretty crazy because I know traffic was really bad, like for the fans who came to our game.
Oh, oh, there you go. Yeah, have you got to go to any sort of LA sporting events outside of like? Oop, we just lost Woody for a sec. Any sporting events outside of that, like go to a Laker game or Dodger game or anything like that, or you become a fan of any of the any of the LA teams?
I went to Dodgers game early on in I think that was like the scrimmage game when they first started. I've been to a Clippers game.
Okay.
That was amazing. So I haven't been to a Lakers game yet.
Woody, what was the schedule like for you guys? So Friday night, did you have Saturday fully off? Did you have time today off? I know that the schedule is usually pretty routine when you have the Saturday game, but how did that Friday game affect the past 2 days for you?
I think it was for me, I'll say it was pretty amazing. Coming off just having Saturday completely off. You can go in the training room and get like treatment or cold tub and stuff, but it felt like a longer weekend. Like this was my first time ever just feeling like I'm like I can get like a lot of rest on the weekend. So it was pretty amazing. I did a little cold tub, then just watch some college football, and then on Sunday, well today, I got to watch some NFL football. Just to looking at those guys, just to like especially NFL. Like we really don't get a lot of time to watch the NFL. So just looking at that, it was pretty amazing. Just how that my body feel from playing on Friday and coming back just felt like high school all over.
You're talking about how your body felt. It was a long trip before, all the way to Maryland, and then a short week coming back. What was the preparation like? I know a lot of guys were banged up. You didn't have as many, as much depth, I guess, as you had before. But what was that week like heading into the Rutgers game, knowing you had this really long trip that you came back from, and then had a short week before the game?
Yeah, we was just preaching to everybody. Just make sure you doing the little things to just with your body. Just making just making sure your body is good to go in from a short week. You know what you gotta do. So just everybody getting in the cold tub, just getting the boots, making sure everything is right. Drinking a lot of water because you're gonna need it. It was a longer day, making so I think Coach Wiley them did a good job with that. Just making sure everything was great before we go into a short week and we have to play on Friday.
Woody, you mentioned watching the NFL today. Are you a Falcons fan? I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but I know you want to play in the NFL one day. Is there one team that you would love if they drafted you? Would it be the Falcons? What's your NFL fandom like, and who were you watching today?
Um, I want to go to the Falcons. That's my hometown team. But I would like to play for with the 49ers, play alongside with Christian McCaffrey. That's like becoming one of my favorite players to watch as a running back. I like the Saints too. Watching Alvin Kamara, them two guys are my favorite two players in the NFL right now.
Yeah, the 49ers are on right now, but no Christian McCaffrey there, though. So,
Yeah.
I've, you're a little more than halfway through the season. Obviously, you want to test the NFL waters afterwards. Have you been getting any sort of feedback on, you know, what your draft stock might have been after, last year at Mississippi State, and then so far what you've put on film, the first, few months here at USC? Have you got any feedback about that, about your future there?
I really haven't like been worried about it much. I found out some stuff around the bye week. I try to just focus in on my game of play and just doing everything I can for the team first, and then like it's stuff out there like that I know, but I just wanna stay away from it till I'm free from like just week by week games. So next week when we have our bye week, I'll know a lot from what has been the previous weeks.
We have some Cowboy fans and 49er fans in the chat that would like you to go to their teams. So they're putting in their requests for what's going on. Yeah, we are. If you don't realize, we're live right now. If you're watching us live on YouTube and on Facebook, and so if you have comments that are in there, I'm trying to put them up on the screen as we go. A lot of positive things have been said about you, Woody. I don't know if you saw them when they're popping up on the screen there, but you have a lot of fans out there from USC. So nice job.
Mm-hmm.
It's deserved too with the way you're playing, and I'm so excited to see what happens with you in the future because you've certainly put your best foot forward this season and have been doing an amazing job. Woody, with Anthony Jones, a very great running backs coach, what he was able to do in the past at TCU and with Memphis speaks for itself. How is he different coaching you, and is there anything that he asks of you that other running backs coaches haven't asked of you? Just what's his coaching style like?
He's very cool, calm, and collect. He try to relate himself to us right now. He think he's still fast. So we have like jokes around in the running back room. I think we all pretty close there. Like it's just like he acts like, I'll put it like, he acts like he's a player but still a coach on the field. So it's pretty amazing. I love playing for him. Just going out there and doing everything that he says. Um, just doing everything that he says. It's pretty amazing how he coach. Even on game days, like if it's a run that like it was a lot of space, he swear he can go down and score, come back, and then go back and score again. That's how fast he was. So I guess that he was in a time with VHR tape, whatever it was, and we want to see his film, but he can never find our film. So we just watched our high school film, and he was just in there talking smack, like he would have did this versus us. He would have did all that. He was so fast, but like we haven't seen him run yet. So like it's amazing just playing with him. I think the whole group just love how he worked for us and what he does on the field. He work out a lot, so we make sure he had the workouts way before us. So he does a lot of walking. You probably seen him walking around, so like
Yeah.
he want to get in shape or whatever. But I was like, athletes stay in shape. So how you trying to get in shape?
So he's talking trash to you guys, saying he can run faster than you and everything. Is it kind of like Gavin Morris, where he's out there saying he can like ball like anybody? Is it similar?
Yeah, he swear he's like just this type of player. So like we always going back and forth in the running back group.
I think one of the funniest moments of the season so far in practice was when you were returning the kicks and warm-ups, and didn't Coach Jones throw one of the cushions to try to get you to get distracted, but it hit you right in the face? Was that you who he hit in the face?
Yeah, that was pretty wild right there.
We got a front row seat to that. That was just funny to watch. Sorry you had to be on the receiving end of that, but yeah, usually he was just throwing it up in the air to try to distract you, and it ended up hitting you right in the face. That was
Yeah.
that was pretty funny. Talk to me about Quentin Joyner, Woody. He's pretty soft-spoken when we speak to him, but the talent is obvious. He's having a great year so far. What's he like off the field?
He's a great person. He's very quiet. I think his dad plays a big role in his life. He got a great father. As people know, Quinn is a very quiet person. He loved to play video games. We play the games outside of football together. I think I'm probably better than him on the sticks. So he's a great person. He loved to eat. I'll say that. So just if you got some food, he go come and eat it. But overall, he's a great player. Great person to be around. Very soft spoken. I think out of our whole group, I'll say me and him is the very soft spoken people, and AP and Brian. I'll say Brian the most talkative one out the group. So yeah, he's a great person. Came from a great background, coming out of Texas. I think he knows what to take to be a good football player and in the classroom.
We had a couple of questions in the chat. I think, and if anyone else, if you're watching us live on either YouTube or Facebook and you want to put a question up for Woody, we will send it his way. Jasper says, can you tell us about how you learned your patience behind the line of scrimmage and setting up your blocks?
I used to watch a lot of Le'Veon Bell, so just doing that, just trusting my O line, just making sure, making notice that they is going to get their blocks, and I could be very patient. Just make sure them guys, I can set defenders up to go to them, and they gonna get smothered by them. So I can set that up, and I'll make big plays coming out of that. So just watching like older people like Le'Veon Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, most definitely Alvin Kamara do with that patience. It really helped my game a lot.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott's playing right now, actually, as we're recording. So he's
Yeah.
starting starting for the Cowboys. We had another one. Jasper says, "When we make a bowl game, will you play in the game, Woody? Would you be?"
Yeah, I play. I'm always like just for the team, do whatever it takes. Never know what'll happen in the future, so I'll most definitely be playing if other things come up. People really know. So
Cool.
therefore,
That's USC fans are going to love to hear that. That's great.
If you don't play, though, I won't hold it against you, Woody. Don't
Yeah.
worry. You have a lot on the line. My favorite play of the season, Woody, was your Michigan fumble recovery. I don't even know if recovery is the right word, when you just stripped the ball out of that lineman's hands to give USC a possession back. Who taught you to never give up on a play like that? And I'm sure that play's been played over and over in the film room, just because that's a perfect example of not giving up. And that was just such an awesome moment this season. Talk to me about that play, and just who taught you not to give up, and what was going through your mind when they recovered the fumble initially? Because you went right to the ball and was like, we're not losing the possession here.
yeah, I was really mad at myself. I was like super mad at myself that I didn't score. And like linemen get tired from running all the way down the field. I think it was a 65-yard run, so I know they was pretty tired. So I didn't score. I was pretty mad. And then when he got the ball, the first thing I saw was he switching the ball, and I just knew he didn't know how to carry the ball, and I went straight for the ball. I didn't know I was going to get it. I didn't even try to tackle him. Like he
You just
was
went right
super
for the ball.
big, so I was like, yeah, I'm finna go straight for the ball. I don't know what else. If I don't get it, I just don't get it. I don't know how I'm gonna get him down. When I was running, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get him down. So I was like, I'm finna go for the ball. And when I got it, I'm like, wow, I just snatched the ball out of his hand. And it was amazing just to go back and watch it. Like it's amazing to see like how you just come out of there. I think it was like clean. It was super clean how I just got the ball.
Yeah. You thought it was a touchdown originally, then backed up, and then fumble, then recover, then score. It was like that was just a crazy sequence. So much stuff going on there. Our Shotgun, our colleague Shotgun, I think texted in and he wanted to know, did you realize you ran into Gavin Morris on the sideline I think it was the first quarter there? Like I think it was the second week in a row he got like run over on the sideline, but I don't know. I think he was probably Instagramming or something at the time.
Yeah, I didn't. AP had told me on the sideline. He was like, "Man, Gavin knee's gonna be hurt." So it was pretty funny just to know that we hit Gavin on the sideline, and how Gavin talk is pretty amazing. He talks a lot of junk. He was like, "Man, Woody, you took me out, man." I'm like, "Hey, man, if you was a really good athlete, you would have jumped over me too."
Woody, do you have a favorite play from this season? The Michigan one stands out to me, but do you have a personal favorite highlight that you've made this year?
Um, I'll say just scoring my first touchdown as a USC Trojan. It was pretty amazing just going in there. And then my favorite moment was just walking into college the first home game. That was like the biggest two moments that I have. But I'll say my favorite play from like overall just out the season was Kyron one hand catch. It
Wow.
was
Yeah.
amazing. And then it's like
Which
two
one?
of them. So I'll say the Maryland catch with Jacoby. I don't know. Them top like top ones for me. I don't know. They find each other.
Yeah. You guys got last real road trip of the season, same time zone, so you're not often going, but it's going to be up to the Pacific Northwest. You probably haven't been up there before, but Seattle to play Washington. Any thoughts on, I guess you had an extra day to sort of think about this next game. Any thoughts on going up and playing the Huskies?
It's going to be a good game. I went up there coming out the transfer portal. It's going to be a good game. I know what they're about. I know what their offense about. My old quarterback go there now, so he's going to be calling me in a minute. So it's going to be a great time. We got two of his old players on this side, one on offense, one on defense, and he over there. So I'll be waiting to go over there to play him.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be awesome going up against Will Rogers. So it sounds like you guys are still in touch a little bit.
Yeah, we talk like every weekend, so we go over games. If they got an opponent and we already played them, we talk a lot. So we'll see. We'll see.
So you have a pretty good relationship with him, and then that'll be a lot of fun, I think, for you guys up there.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Were you what the road trips that you guys have taken? You took Minnesota, you had Michigan, you had Maryland. Did you have kind of a favorite? I mean, obviously the results weren't great, but did you have like a favorite one or places to see, anything like that?
I'll say Maryland. Just being out there in this city state, it was pretty amazing. Just everything that's going on with the election coming up and stuff. So it was amazing. Just the food that they have, the people that they have in there. It was pretty amazing. At the hotel, they was very well for USC and everything. I loved it. That was probably the best trip we had, and the fans was amazing there too.
Nice.
Very excited to watch you guys against Washington. Last road game. How big of a chip is on your shoulder knowing that you guys haven't done as well as you would have hoped on the road so far this season? What's your mindset heading into this last true road game?
Ches, we got to get the job done. No matter what, we got to come back with a W. No more getting on the planes. Sad. I wouldn't say holding our head down, but feeling like that. I know it's not a long trip, but no more get on the plane and ride that long for hours. Just sad and knowing that we let ourselves off the hook from not coming home with a W. And so yeah.
Well, Woody, we really appreciate you coming on again. We had a blast talking to you the first time when Connor and I got to do that event with you in person. That was so much fun, and just to see the fans, how they you were just an infectious personality that everyone just loves being around you. So we're really happy you had such a huge game on Friday, hoping USC get the win. And we wish you the best of luck this weekend in Seattle. Seeing an old teammate up there. So you won't be on the field at the same time, but
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be a good game. They're a very great team over there, so it's gonna be a good game.
All right. Well, we appreciate everything, Woody. What we're going to do is we'll let you go. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with our friend Chris Trevino and continue talking about this USC Rutgers game. But thanks again, Woody. We really appreciate it, and thanks to House of Victory for setting this up. You take care.
All right.
Man.
Thank you,
Woody.
guys. Right on.
Thanks. All right. We're back here on Tunnel Vision, and we have a spooky guest with us. First of all, It was amazing to have Woody on. He was so good. And it's amazing to have Chris Trevino on, or Mr. Skeleton Man. He loves doing this. This is his bit every Halloween. He comes in dressed with an amazing costume. He's here now. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Doing good. I like to go by Mr. 10K Bones today, if that's possible.
10K Bones? Okay.
Yeah. Mr. 10K Bones.
Oh, Mr. 10K Bones. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to fix your shot a little bit. You look lovely. Let me put your one shot up so people can just.
I can't see out of this thing, so just let me know if
you're perfectly centered.
I'm on. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
If you want to do a scary pose, we got the one shot on you. So that might have to be our screenshot. Let's say the 31-minute mark. All right, perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you got to hear the comments with Woody. He was great again. We got him another half an hour. Thanks again, House of Victory. That was awesome. But Woody's great, man.
I could hear you guys laughing from the other room.
Yeah, he's funny. He's got that Southern charm. He's consistently been my favorite interview, probably on offense. I like talking to Jamil Muhammad on defense and a few other guys. But on the offensive side of the ball, Woody's been amazing. And you're right, Ryan. We've been fortunate. We had him in spring practice, and then we got to talk to him, just the two of us, in the summer, and he's been a consistent guy at the practices this week, and now getting him tonight. We've heard a lot from Woody Marks, and every time we leave the conversation, smile on our faces, and he just keeps getting better and better. He's such a likable dude.
Dude, you just love good people,
yeah.
And he's someone that's just a great person, and the fact that he's really good at football is nice too. USC's needed him badly. I mean, the Trojans have been, I won't say lucky, but they, fortunate to have the kind of senior running backs transfer in for the last 3 years, and you're like, can you do it again? Could you get another like Travis Dye or man? Boom, and you get Woody Marks, and he's delivered.
He's been awesome this season, and yeah, after Marshawn Lloyd, you wondered like that was about as perfect as it could have gone, and now Woody Marks comes in, and knock on wood, but I don't think he has a fumble this year, and that caused Lloyd some problems last year. So in some regards, Marks has been even better as a pass catcher too. And I did not think that was possible, but he's been definitely the MVP of the offense, and he's been really, really good this season. So a great story and a pretty disappointing year so far, but USC has a chance, of course, to finish strong, and they got to win over Rutgers. So all hope isn't lost, but it certainly hasn't been the year a lot of people expected.
What does Mr. 10K Bones think of Woody Marks' play so far?
I love Woody Marks. He's obviously having a career season. I believe he's like less than 20 yards away from having 1,000 all-purpose yards on the year, new career high rushing, and knock on wood, knock on these bones, but he's on pace to be 1,000-yard rusher the first time in his career. So Woody Marks needs to get the ball more because he is the best player on the offensive side of the ball right now. But Woody Marks, huge get. There were some injury concerns coming out of Mississippi State, but he's been rock solid and truly one of the hearts of this team, not just on offense.
Well, we got to talk about the game. We are live on YouTube and live on Facebook. So if you can continue to put in comments, if you stuck with us, and if you're just joining us, you can go back and listen to, in podcast form, the Woody Marks interview, or you can watch the YouTube video or the Facebook videos. They'll be up on our sites over there in perpetuity. You can go check them out whenever you want. So if you missed the Woody Marks part, it's definitely worth a watch or a listen, and go check that out. But we want to talk, do our normal sort of Sunday recap of the games. We're not going to do live calls tonight just because we had to set up the Woody thing, so I wasn't able to do all of that. But you can, if you're watching live, you can put the comments in either Facebook or YouTube, and should be able to see all those and put them up on the screen. Not as many people are interested after a win, and it was sort of a expected win, but there was other expected wins that didn't become wins. But it was an important one, for Miller Moss to throw over 300 yards, Woody Marks to get 3 touchdowns and nearly 100 yards rushing. The defense getting 4 sacks, sort of do some things to maybe get right going into this next road game. But Chris, you were down there on the sidelines. What were your thoughts on this game?
First of all, it was the Makai Lemon game. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay, fair.
But to your point, yes, an expected win and 2 points on it. A much needed win You had lost 3 straight. Both of these teams had lost 3 straight. Both teams were very much in desperation mode. Obviously, USC had the advantages, even though they were equal. They were as banged up a little bit more on this in the secondary than Rutgers. Rutgers was just obliterated by injuries as well, coming across the country. Time zone change, short week. They had a lot of things stacked against them. So USC handled the game as they should have, covered 14.5 point favorites, won by 22. So great win to stop the bleeding of a 3-game losing streak. But also Rutgers, not very good. Not very good. But it was a needed win for a desperate team trying to stop a skid. You get that big win. You can right the ship looking ahead to Washington, Nebraska, UCLA, Notre Dame. You can win all of those games, but you needed to get over Rutgers first on a short week, get a little bit healthier with the extra day off. So a very much needed opportunity, and they got it done. But again, Rutgers, not a great team.
Definitely a reassuring win, but if we're doing like the Monday morning talk show on ESPN, who does this game say more about, USC or Rutgers? To me, it says a lot more about Rutgers. I was talking to one of the Rutgers beat writers after the game, and he said, look, Greg Schiano has lost the identity of this program. Like, they are in big, big trouble this year. They don't play the defense that is accustomed with a Greg Schiano coach team, even with those injuries, of course. Like, if those guys were playing, I don't know how big of a difference it makes. Some of them, like, they've just lost their identity completely. So it was good for USC to come out and cover the spread, win a big game at home after losing 3 in a row. But to Chris's point, like, I think Purdue's the worst team in the Big Ten, and then Rutgers, they had a little bit of success beating Washington earlier in the year. They play Maryland. Maybe they can beat Maryland, but I don't see too many more wins for the Scarlet Knights the rest of this season. They just do not play defense well enough. And on offense, if Kyle Monangai can't play after he was out with what looked like a concussion, it looked like he got 3 freaking concussions in that game. I just don't really know where they go from there. So credit to USC for not being the bottom of the barrel in the Big Ten, but it's a shame that we have to even say that at this point. USC picked to finish 6th in the conference, and here we are in 13th place. So still a long ways to go, but step in the right direction. If they win at Washington, that would tell me that things are a lot better because they haven't won on the road this year. And Washington, they did just lose to Indiana, but they're, in my opinion, even though they did lose to Rutgers early in the season, now they're much better than Rutgers.
Indiana is the best team in the Big Ten. Let's put it out there.
Indiana's pretty damn good. Yeah, they look amazing. Kirk Cignetti is an absolute killer. We talk about him a lot on the Podcast of Champions. If you want to go check that out, we'll do a live show tomorrow, Monday morning, recapping the Big Ten. It was a really weird weekend in the Big Ten, like stuff that you thought was going to happen. For Ohio State to just barely beat Nebraska after Indiana beat them by 7 touchdowns. It's kind of crazy back to back, and we weren't sure about Ohio State after that 1-point loss to Oregon. Oregon absolutely plasters Illinois, a ranked team. There's some interesting results sort of going on. And I think with the expanded college football playoff, the race to try to make the conference championship game, this is all pretty fun. If you're a USC fan, you're not in these races now, but if USC was winning some of these games that they should have won, they'd be right in the mix. And I think it would be very interesting. You're not talking about trying to make a bowl game. You're talking about trying to make the playoffs, but there's a lot of teams there that are potentially going to make it. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun as we get down to this. Like, how good is Indiana, and like, how good is Penn State? They got to win, but it was close. Ohio State, they're looking a little, for that kind of roster, they're looking a little sketchy. So it's really fun to see what's going on, but some weird results. And for the fans in the chat that are saying, "Oh, USC's not going to be able to beat Nebraska or not beat that," have you watched college football? Like, anyone can beat anybody. Like, anything can happen each week, but USC just has to start playing well. But it's been pretty crazy so far.
Oregon looked great. I feel like they're the class of the league right now. I watched that first half against Illinois, and it was like, man, they're just on a different level. But you're right, Penn State, for all the success that they've had, they've been up and down at times, and Ohio State doesn't look like that great team that everyone thought, even though they only have the one loss right now. They still need to figure some things out. And I don't mean to pile on, but it's a shame that USC, with this schedule this year, not playing Oregon, not playing Ohio State, like, they could be in there. They probably should be in there if they had everyone healthy. And that just, of course, hasn't happened after beating LSU, a lot of devastating injuries. But I just wonder also, even if they did have everyone healthy, is the roster with the offensive line really getting up to speed at the beginning of the year? Do you have the pass rush needed to be at the top of the league? They would certainly be a hell of a lot closer than they are right now, and it's too bad we didn't get to see a fully healthy USC team this season. But kind of like what you were saying in the offseason, Ryan, like there's an opportunity here, and it's too bad here at 4-4 that really hasn't been realized. Opportunity, though, to win the rest of these games, all winnable for USC. Only one more road game, really. I know they play at UCLA, but that's a little different, of course. They still have a lot to play for, but to me, they should have been in the mix here, and that just hasn't been the case.
Can I make a point real quick?
Yes, of
about
course.
them having 2 more road games, 1 more road game, Washington and UCLA. I'm sort of in the thinking that regardless of what happens in those 2 road games, if they win them both, they lose them both, what have you, if they win one of those, it doesn't count as a true Big Ten road win.
If they win which one?
Washington
Oh, because
or
they're not a
UC,
true Big
because they're
Ten?
not.
Not a traditional
Yes.
Big Ten team.
USC has to wait another year before they get their first true Big Ten road win. That is the thinking that I have. Washington, you've been to Washington plenty of times. UCLA, that is not a Big Ten road win. That is my thinking, and I'm sticking to this hot take that they will not get a true Big Ten road win this season. You blew it against Maryland. You blew it against Minnesota. You blew it against Michigan. You don't get a Big Ten road win this year.
That's funny. Even if USC gets 2 Big Ten road games the rest of the way, according to Chris, no Big Ten road wins.
No Big Ten road
I
wins.
mean, he's not wrong because.
Thank you.
No, you're not.
I
Like
mean,
this
he is. But it's
Well,
funny.
Technically, I am wrong, but technically, I'm also right. I'm both of these things.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah,
like you
well,
want
I
to be
get it
able
too.
to like what everyone talks about is what's going to happen when USC travels all this way and they got to play, this tough team that runs the ball and blah blah blah. They didn't win any of those games. They're the tough road games, and all of them were favorable conditions. They were like this was the year USC's road schedule was the easiest. You had a very down Michigan team.
They were favored in all of them.
They were favored in all of those road games. And the Minnesota game, it was the warmest game ever in October. Like the warmest game they've ever had. You had no inclement weather. Like it was better weather wherever you were playing than it was in Los Angeles. Like this was the year that you should have swept the road slate, not gone 0-4. So I'm going to go with Chris on this one. Like it'll be a big win if you get the win in Seattle. But
Yes.
you should have won an actual traditional Big Ten road game because they were all set up. There's going to be some November Minnesota games, where it's going to be snowy and it's like there'll be excuses built in. You had no excuses built in besides it was a long plane ride and the weather was great everywhere. It was freaking perfect. The teams all were terrible and you couldn't beat them.
Would Maryland have counted it as a traditional Big Ten win?
Not traditional, but going across
Long
the
enough.
country long enough, new place you never played before, I would have counted that. Let me know what the chat say, and only post the ones that agree with me.
Or is that an ACC win?
Yes, that is a old-timey ACC win, but a new age Big Ten win.
But anyway, moving forward here, what do you think the lessons learned are just from a roster building perspective where like the offensive line, I think, has a chance to be good next year. I do see progress there. It's a shame that it took a while to get up to speed. That Michigan game was a disaster, but I'm seeing progress there. On the defensive line, I think they have a lot of work to do, and that's sort of as we move forward. I want to see Cameron Fountain continue to play. He had a sack against Maryland. Sam Green, I don't know if he's in the coaching staff's future plans, but he had a really good game against Rutgers the other night. I just think the defensive line this year has not been where it needed to be in a Big Ten conference that is so trench play dominant. You need to have really good line play. So the rest of this season, as we gear up for 2025, it's too bad with 4 games to go that we're kind of talking about that, but that is the case here with USC being 4-4. I want to see the defensive line, the guys that they have available, the guys who are going to come back next year, take a step forward, because I think that was one of the biggest limitations on this team. And as we look ahead to next season, what does USC need to do to really compete in the Big Ten? It starts there for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about O-line all day. They have gotten better throughout the year. You're seeing some development, but it all starts up front on defense for me. Just they don't have dudes that can win those matchups and get to the quarterback consistently. Look at the sack numbers. They say all the stories. You can talk about pressure and affecting the quarterback. They're not doing it enough. And the biggest affection you can have on the quarterback is taking him down for a sack, which obviously they got 4 this week. It's good, but it's Rutgers. They're not good. Their quarterback's not good. So getting guys next season that can win and come up big in critical situations, critical third downs, fourth downs. Obviously, you had a guy in Eric Gentry, and I know we've said that all season. Like, losing him was big. It was massive losing Eric Gentry. He had 6.5 tackles for a loss through like 3.5 games or something like that. He was on All-American pace. And even though he was kind of the only guy, everything got better around him, which is, I think I made the point that he's kind of the talisman of the defense. When he's playing really well, everyone else is playing really well, and the defense as a whole rises so much when he's in there. But if you don't have a guy getting in the backfield, making those plays, it's rough for USC's defense. And obviously losing Anthony Lucas, big loss there. The Bear Alexander situation, lost there. But they just have young guys that aren't necessarily ready to be those guys. Braylon Shelby we thought could be the guy, but it's not there. Maybe in these next 4 games you see more development, but he's still really, really young. Jade Abasiri, Cameron found 2 really young, talented guys, but obviously still true freshmen, still have a lot to learn, and they're not ready for that moment. And you got guys trying to step up. Gavin Meyer thought had a really great game.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yeah. Kobe Pepe, guy hasn't played much, but has been really good for them. Elijah Hughes, you saw a lot more of, and they're going to need him down this stretch. But they just don't have the dudes that can consistently win. And maybe you'll get those developments out of guys next year, but you need to go in the portal and get some guys, some pass rushers, some spend money on those D-line. They really needed to get one of those guys in the spring window, and they did it, and you're seeing the effects of that now. They just need at least 3 more guys that can be dudes while your young guys kind of learn behind them as well.
Yeah, Eric Gentry still leads the team in tackles for loss with 6.5, despite only playing half the team's games.
He's been out a month, yeah.
And he's tied for the lead in sacks with 2. So just sort of that tells you all you need to know.
The one good thing, Rutgers did not give up a lot of sacks. They only had given up, I think, 8 or 9 on the season through 7 games. So to get 4 is nice, but USC built a lead. I think with the offense, it sort of set that up. But so that was somewhat positive. You want to look for a positive thing, that they still hadn't given up a lot of sacks on the season. So, USC got like half their sacks in 1 game.
Which was definitely a step in the right direction. I just want to see it against a better team now, and I don't think that's unfair to say at all, just based on Rutgers, where they are right now, and just what USC's done so far this season. Unquestionably, though, a step in the right direction. Can't debate that. Let's see it against Washington. Let's see it against Notre Dame at the end of the season, teams with just better offensive lines.
We had a question in the chat from Andrew. We have enough tape now. If you had to pick, who would you have been your quarterback, Will Howard or Miller Moss?
I haven't watched enough Ohio State to.
I really haven't either.
Chris, you watch Ohio State?
But Ohio State's kind of struggling, and they got like the best receivers in the country. So I'm not,
I'm probably still going with Miller Moss because he still has the locker room behind him. So I probably would. Again, I haven't watched enough Ohio State to make that call, but I'd probably still go Miller Moss, given his leadership and his camaraderie with everyone in that locker room.
The portal quarterback that looks like the top guy is Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
Miami.
He looked pretty terrible at Washington State. He was like a check down machine. He was terrible in that offense.
He was okay.
He wasn't.
He wasn't Heisman guy.
No, but he would have gotten drafted.
There were times where he wasn't, and I don't think it was a limitation on the offense, though. He wasn't even throwing the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. It looks completely different what he's doing in Miami. And it's a different situation, different athletes. But to see Indiana win by 7 touchdowns against Nebraska and score at will, and there was a bunch of turnovers and stuff too. But I thought, the Ohio State, that was a 25.5 point spread or something, and they barely beat Nebraska. Will Howard was not converting. I was watching third downs. They just weren't doing it. And he's got some amazing guys to throw to. So, I would probably still not seeing enough, but I saw a bunch yesterday, and I would take Miller Moss over him.
And a better line.
Ward was definitely the guy, and he was a guy USC was interested in, but he went to the highest bidder in Miami. And this offseason, Chris and Ryan, I think we have to get to the point at USC here where you don't lose everyone to Miami and Oregon and all the teams who just had done better with NIL. Like, you have to go out there and flex your muscle a little bit and get some of these top portal guys. And that's something that Ryan has been saying, and I'm totally with you. We had this big debate last week. It didn't work with Bear Alexander, clearly, but you have to take some swings and just look at some of the transfer guys who have had huge years this year. Harmon at Oregon. Tyler Barron is 4.5 sacks at Miami. Cam Ward is going to be a Heisman finalist and might win the trophy if he continues at this pace. Like, there were options and moves out there to be made, and then to not make them and then say, oh, we were going to rely on culture. You're either in the game or you're not. And just to compete at the highest level, you need to lock down some of those guys. And who's competing at the highest level this year? It's Oregon, it's Miami, it's not USC. Would one or two guys have gotten USC to the point where they really are competing with those teams? Maybe not, but they've lost 4 games where they've had a lead in the fourth quarter in all of them. It's not crazy to say if they had 1 or 2 more guys, they'd be in a way better spot.
Yeah. Chris, I know you got a question on the composite 2-star recruits from Mr. Publisher, Mr. Bossman.
Yeah, it took me
Gerard
like
was sort of like poo-pooing it.
Yeah, he wasn't gung ho on the idea, but then I kind of like half changed his mind when I was like, I got the perfect example for you, Jakeem Stewart, this cycle going up against Oregon. Pay the money, get Jakeem Stewart because you need Jakeem Stewart. I know he's not a 5-star, and after reclassifying, he's number like 52 in the country or something, high 4-star, but I gave him that example and he kind of like changed his tune a little bit. So I think I got him open to the idea of going out and outspending an Oregon for on a public front, obviously, because we know Oregon is a big contender for Jakeem Stewart. So I think I got him warming up to the idea of your suggestion of going out and outbidding whatever the cost to get a big win, especially a guy like a defensive lineman like you need for next season.
Yeah, I feel like USC definitely needs a general manager because you have to. It's not just about finding the right guy, but you have to evaluate. You have to negotiate, find the right price, get the right fit, all that kind of stuff, and make it work with your team. But there's going to be some guys that you just have to spend more money on, and I feel like USC was sort of like budget spreadsheeting things, and it was almost like the A's baseball kind of thing, Moneyball sort of stuff. And when you're playing with the Yankees and the Dodgers and stuff, you have to, and you're still, this is like the Red Sox maybe right now, Connor, right? That they've played in those waters before. They've signed the big contracts, and now they're trying to play Moneyball. You were telling me about that in the locker room.
Yeah, how's that working out for them?
Right, and so USC has the ability to sign the big, they go get, Shohei Ohtani or something like that. They have the ability to go get the big name, a big name player. Could they get everyone? Could they beat Oregon, who has an unlimited bank account, blank checks or whatever? No, but you could go out and win one, maybe win 2. I don't know, and overspend. It's just like, hey, we normally wouldn't spend this much money on this player, but we needed to get a win, and we will do it. And we're going to, whatever, I know Lincoln Riley gets worried about the locker room and all that kind of stuff, but I think you need to at least change the fan perception a little bit, change your roster a little bit, because Connor mentioned it. If you overspent for one of those defensive linemen, you're probably in a better position. You might have 2 more wins if you've done that, So I think you need to do something like that, just to like, hey, we get it. We normally wouldn't spend this much money on this type of player, but we're going to do it because we need to.
Does Ohtani have any eligibility left?
I don't. Yeah.
What I'm nervous about, though, is this new revenue sharing thing is coming in, and you have $22 million per school. And where does that money come from, and how much gets distributed to football? Like, I feel like this rule change isn't going to exactly help USC, where they now have to put more money into this kitty, whereas if you're in Oregon, you can just kind of, write a couple checks, and you have the $22 million, and then you have this whole other NIL pool that's off to the side. What does USC's NIL pool that's off to the side look like? I'm excited for our conversation with Jen Cohen, whenever that's going to be in the offseason, Ryan, because I talked to Eric Musselman at practice the other day for basketball, and he's confused about the NIL, and I'm sure she is too. No one has any guidance right now. No one knows what it's all going to look like moving forward, and the unfortunate reality is we've seen USC react a little bit slower and more conservative than some other schools when new rules have come out.
Yes.
Previously, they were hoping the NCAA would sort of bail them out, and that hasn't happened. I don't think the NCAA is in a great position to enforce a lot of this stuff. So I just hope USC's on the cutting edge, and when this revenue sharing happens, they're able to go out and compete with some of these transfer portal top players, because it's clear right now that they need to do that.
Yeah. It's weird because, and I think USC knows this is coming, and they're budgeting for, they got 22 million, and there's probably going to be like 15-ish million for football, whatever, there's like loose rules and things right now, but they don't have the actual, this is just like the House settlement, and there's a lot of lawsuits against the House settlement. The student
It's a
athletes,
mess.
the student athletes that aren't from the revenue sports are trying to sue. Like, they don't want this. So this might not even happen. It was like, it's weird that you're going to like govern by some lawsuit settlement, but that's sort of what the NCAA is doing right now. But you not knowing this is coming up, we're really close to next year, and you don't even know you're going to spend $22 million of athletic department money, but you don't even know what it's earmarked for yet. Like, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been decided, but I feel like USC is not going to like wait 2 years to figure this out. They're ready to do it, but they're also like looking for guidance too. And I think a lot of athletic directors across the country are, because you're basically like, what are the terms of this settlement? Like, that's how you're going to govern. That's how this is going to run. And there's a lot of people upset with it. So people are going to fight back, and, it might get postponed. Who the heck knows? But then are you going to, again, can you put the toothpaste back in the tube? When the NCAA tried to like put a lid on NIL, it's like, once it was out there, it was out there. So I think there'll be athletic departments, even if they say, we can't do it, they're like, screw it. You said we can do it. We're paying, the athletic department is now paying student athletes. And it's just, who knows where it's going to go from there.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission, which is your whole thing, Ryan. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at Tennessee with Nico Iamaleava. He might not be this perfect quarterback right now, but they went out, signed him to a pretty public $8 million NIL deal. We'll worry about the ramifications later. We don't think that the NCAA can enforce this. And oh, look, it goes to court, and they couldn't enforce it. So go out of your way, do what you got to do, and just make it happen. I think USC fans are understandably frustrated when it's like Oregon's doing all this stuff, and Miami's doing all this stuff, and Ohio State has this great transfer class. Like, USC, they should be able to compete for national championships, but they don't do the same stuff that some of these other schools do. What's the reason for that? I know it's harder to get into USC than some of these other schools. People have talked to me a lot about that. There are some reasons, but like, I'm just kind of tired of the excuses. I think if you want to compete for championships, we hear it so much. Like, Lincoln Riley talks all about, this is the first time in however many years where people are upset because we're competing for championships. That hasn't happened previously. Like, okay, let's see it then.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
I mean, Connor's pretty fired up. So
It's this coffee. I'm drinking coffee too late.
yeah, I mean, just you guys have said a lot of good points, but just harping on what Connor said, you can't afford to start slow and whatever happens moving forward, like you did in the earlier iteration of NIL, which is obviously always changing. So whatever happens over the next several months with this new settlement, lawsuit, whatever, you have to be ready to hit the ground running and not take your time. Just jump in the pool. I know it's going to be cold, whatever, but all these other schools are not slow playing it. They're diving in head first, and they're getting results, as you're seeing around the country. So just, as Connor said, play the game.
Get in the game.
Get in the game.
I've kind of hijacked the show here. Should we talk more about Makai Lemon?
Yeah.
Rutgers. He was awesome.
You didn't hijack the show. That's fine. Like, so USC loses all these games. We get a ton of questions. A lot of people want to hear what's going on. They win a game. It wasn't like a great opponent, and it's just a little more subdued. I got a couple podcasts tomorrow. I really didn't get a bunch of questions for the USC part of things, and that's kind of just the way it is, because this was sort of like okay, you won a game. It's a bad team. Show me, get a road win. Go beat Washington, who seems like a decent team. Beat Nebraska when they come to the Coliseum. Beat Notre Dame at the end of the season. I think people get excited about that, but they're not really getting fired up for Rutgers. But you should get fired up for Makai Lemon.
Yeah, I feel like I wrote an article after that Wisconsin game and Jacoby Lane went off. Did USC find its number one receiver? And then in the subsequent weeks, it didn't really look like Lane was able to be that top guy, which not easy. But Makai Lemon now, Chris, he might be that top dog. 2 weeks in a row, he's led USC in receiving. back-to-back career highs for him, receiving yards this year, and I think catches the previous week. He's trending in the right direction. He's returning kicks now, which he had that 80-yard kick return. It's taken a little bit more time, I think, for these USC receivers to maybe get to the level that we expected, and they're still maybe not quite there. But Makai Lemon right now has all the momentum, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do these last 4 games, because I feel more confident that he's that top guy right now than I have about anyone else previously this season.
Yeah, I got a little pushback on social media when I was like, Makai Lemon, wide receiver number 1, move on. But
USC fans don't like that label. They get mad at you.
yeah, I don't care. Anyway, Makai Lemon, the thing about Makai Lemon now, obviously he's racking up a bunch of catches, has shown to be a dependable option. And, a couple weeks ago, he's like the only guy who could get open and make plays. Now you're seeing the big plays out of Makai Lemon, which is something the offense had been lacking. Every once in a while you get a big Woody Marks run, or, Quint Joyner would have one occasionally, but they weren't really getting those big plays, big chunk plays out of the passing game. Then you get an 80-yard kickoff return, you get a 40-yard touchdown, and then you get a very much needed 70-yard catch and run in the third quarter when Rutgers makes it a 1-possession game. You needed a big play. Bang. Oh, no. Are they going to choke? No. Makai Lemon's going to come up with a 70-yard catch and run. So you're seeing the big plays. I am excited to see what he does in his next game against Washington. Obviously, Washington's going to see the same. It's like, we got to stop number 6. Maybe that'll open someone up to have a big game. But Makai Lemon at this point looks like wide receiver 1. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck. I'm calling it a duck, so I'm calling him wide receiver number 1. The receptions are coming. I think he's going to catch everyone. I think he's caught everyone in the yards. Going to catch everyone in the receptions. He might actually be there. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think that's like 19 catches over the last 4 games, something like that. But he's just getting better and better every week since returning.
Yeah, I mean, to have over 200 yards, all-purpose yards, that kick return, first game returning kicks, you break a big one. I thought that was pretty special. People love the food analogies. We got a good one in the chat from Steven. He says, do whatever it takes to get a Michelin star. Right now, we're like on the TripAdvisor list only.
Hell yeah. I agree.
Yes.
Really do whatever it takes. Sick of the excuses.
No excuses. Just freaking sign dudes. Just freaking win games, right? As we said, just go win games. Like, who cares when you're talking about all this stuff? I think the LSU game was like, the whole offseason was less about talk and more about we're working behind the scenes, we're getting bigger, stronger, faster. There was no talk. They just went out and won. Then there was still a lot of talk, and you weren't winning. Just go win. Go win for recruits. Go win for transfers. Like, no excuses. Like, hey, do you want that guy? Make it happen. Just go make it happen. That's what you got to do.
And USC has an opportunity here to finish the season strong when they haven't done that the previous 2 years under Lincoln Riley. 8-4, well, it might be not up to some people's standards. If USC can end the season on a 5-game win streak, have some momentum heading into a bowl game, heading into signing day, heading into the transfer portal opening up again, that would be massive, I think, because that could show recruits and people in the portal like, hey, look, yes, the beginning of the season didn't go the way we hoped, but look, we struggled to finish seasons, and this year we finished strong. We're building all this great momentum to 2025. In that area, there is an opportunity for USC, and I do think that matters. Yes, the money matters and the fit and all that stuff probably matters more, but it certainly is a factor. If you can show people tangible results that you're trending in the right direction, when you had a 3-game losing streak this year, you were under 500 for the first time in the Lincoln Riley era here at USC. Yes, that was bad, but if you're building towards something, I think that could go a long way.
We had a comment in the chat from Beck. He says, that skeleton costume is like USC's record, all bones and no meat on it. And I would disagree. First of all, I love the skeleton costume, but there's meat in the USC schedule, which makes it more frustrating that you have losses to Maryland and Minnesota and even like Michigan at this point.
Wisconsin looks good.
Wisconsin looks way better. They're a real team. They could have beat Penn State over the weekend. LSU got their first loss against Texas A&M in a game that they controlled early. They were only up 7. I think it was 17-7. And it should have been like 24-27. They should have been up a lot more, and then they sort of like fell apart later on in that game. I think Nussmeier got banged up a little bit. But LSU's won a bunch of games. They've looked a lot better. Even the best defensive player is out for the season. There's meat on the USC schedule, and that's why it's more frustrating to lose some of the games they've lost, because they've beat better teams than the teams they lost to.
You said this was Beck?
Yeah,
Beckstein.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's meat. There's meat here. Trust me, there's some meat over here.
It's funny. We have a lot of people in the chat. I think Beck was one of them. Like, they're going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game. Like, you've watched college football, right? Yes. Notre Dame put up a bunch of points on Navy. They also lost to Northern Illinois. Like, you don't know who you're going to get. It's a grab bag every week. If Notre Dame comes in and plays like an A+ game against USC, USC will probably lose. If they both play like a B game, like I think either team can win. You know, it's just one of those things that don't make these assumptions. Oh, they'll never beat that team. Like, okay, you haven't watched college football then. If you think they'll never beat that team, then you've seen it this year. It happens every week. There's just weird shit that just happens all the time. So they can win every game on their schedule. They could have won every game in the whole season. The way that, look at those teams. They were beating all these teams in the fourth quarter, so they could easily sweep the rest of the way, or they could lose most of them.
I think this upcoming game against Washington might be the most difficult one remaining. USC plays really well at home. UCLA in the Rose Bowl, not at home, but still in LA, and UCLA has been up and down this season. Notre Dame is, of course, the best team remaining on the schedule, but the fact that USC gets them at home is huge. USC hasn't, of course, won a road game this year. Like, if you win this week, tells me a lot.
Yeah.
I agree. Washington, hard place to play for USC. Haven't won there in a hot minute. So, yeah, this would say a lot about how the last 4 games are going to go. If they can go up to Seattle and walk out of there with a win.
Yeah, I mean, Texas looks great, right? And Andrew says they survived Vandy. Vandy already beat Alabama.
Yeah, Vandy's actually good.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. So I would you needed to get the win against Rutgers. Check. Like, you did that. Now you got to go get a win. Get your first road win. I know Chris says it doesn't count. I'm kind of with him for Big Ten. It's a road win. It's just not a real Big Ten road win.
Counts as a road win.
It's a road win for sure.
But not a Big Ten road win.
Big road win, but not a true Big Ten road.
This is Jen Cohen going back to where.
True.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Woody Marks already said, like, his quarterback from Mississippi State,
Will Rogers.
Will Rogers is there. They talk every week, he said. So I think, you got a couple Mississippi State players, DeCarlos Nicholson. They want to go see Will Rogers. And I think this is going to be a big one. I mean, Woody, when I asked Woody about it, it's like his face sort of lit up. Like, this could be a little something special for some of these guys. So you got to go get the win. And it starts there. Then if you're 5-4 and you got a road win against Washington, it looks pretty good. You get a bye week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sit down and heal up a little bit, and then a Nebraska team that looked like absolute ass against Indiana, but gave Ohio State all it could handle. Obviously, a team that you're going to play pretty well to try to beat. So it'll be fun. You got your rivalry games. I mean, even if USC loses the next 2 games, like, you want to win against UCLA, you want to win against Notre Dame. Try to salvage the season, but they can still do something here. We'll see. We'll see how they respond. If they can finish out and win these games, go 8-4, I think it would be a pretty positive, something positive going into the offseason and next season you could build on.
I agree. And Washington actually has some pretty solid offensive talent if people haven't been paying attention. Jonah Coleman, who was at Arizona
he's
last
great.
year, is a really good running back. They have Denzel Boston, who's caught 9 touchdowns this season, and Giles Jackson, who was good at Washington last year. He has 553 receiving yards. Their quarterback, Will Rogers, is kind of up and down. He didn't turn the ball over too much until Indiana, when I think he threw 2 picks. So they're a team, like all these opponents that USC's lost to on the road, they can beat you. They have some players who you have to watch out for. And I think Washington, in terms of skilled players, they definitely are better than Minnesota, in my opinion. They're definitely better than Maryland. If they do win on the road against Washington, I'll be impressed for sure. It's a solid team, not a great team. They're 4-4, but they have some talent there, and they have the potential to put USC in some tough positions.
Yeah,
Gotta hope USC gets some secondary players back.
Yes,
because Washington's gonna try to throw that ball all over the field.
Yeah, with Jed Fish up there, they've not been great on the road. They've looked better at home. So we'll see sort of how they lost to Washington State. But they're definitely a competent team that has some skill guys, that has, there's a bunch of talent on that team, and they'll definitely be fired up for this one. You want to, I think you want to get wins against Big Ten foes, but you don't want to lose to the teams that you are already in conference with, right? Like what we've seen, UCLA lost to Oregon. I think that's the only one. I don't think I think UCLA goes to Washington the following week after USC does. So we're going to get to start some of these former Pac-12 teams playing each other. So I don't think anyone expected UCLA to beat Oregon, but USC and Washington, kind of a toss-up thing. We'll see kind of how that goes, but it's a big one. I mean, you got to go out and execute, try to get the victory, and build on that. I think all of it's going to help too. Transfer portal wise, you'd much rather be on a upswing sort of thing heading into the offseason than something going down and you're still trying to, because then you might have to overpay for more guys because you have to convince them to come, where if there's some good football reasons to come and you have a good financial package, I think it makes it a little easier.
Absolutely. That is the name of the game. And I just think the proof of concept is so huge when we all remember that first year. Yes, USC had the great regular season, but then it all comes crashing down in the Pac-12 championship, and the Cotton Bowl wasn't great. And then last year, 6-0 to 7-5 real quick.
Yeah.
4-4. Can you get the 4-4 or get the 8-4 from 4-4? That kind of flip the script from last season. That would tell people a lot, and that would make me have a lot of belief in next year's roster 100%. Whereas right now it's kind of like I don't really know how good they'll be next season.
Yeah.
Can I get a quick
whatever you want
screen?
Oh, you're just you? Hold on.
Scare? No. I'm scaring Connor.
Oh, here, I'll do the 2-shot. Okay. I like it. Are you getting scared?
It's my scared face.
I think that might have to be the screenshot.
Oh no!
Keep bumping into my microphone with my hand. I'm sorry, everyone out there
that's
listening with headphones. That's just not good on my end. But I was scared.
Mr. 10K Bones. That's what.
Damn
Jasper's.
straight. Damn
that's
straight.
What you go by. So, I love it, Chris. I love this tradition of you dressing up,
being the only one dressed up in this moment.
Well,
and I know there's the official Halloween episode is on Thursday,
Yeah.
which is on Halloween.
Yes.
Connor, I hope you dress up. Hope you guys all dress up.
I think we will dress up for that.
But I don't do Thursday shows, and I'm not one of those people that celebrate Halloween after the fact. So the Sunday after Halloween, that is not it. So this was my opportunity to dress up, and in continuing with tradition of being the only one on the show to be dressed up on a given episode, I had to take it. Give Jack Smith the night off.
Yeah. I don't think he was aware that he had the night off. He was texting me. I'm on a fishing boat earlier, and he's texting me. I'm like about to clean these fish. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, just text Chris.
I thought you were going to do Thursday because it was actual Halloween. But
No, I got to give out candy on Halloween.
okay.
I gotta
Scare people.
jump out of the bushes.
Yeah.
Before, you gotta earn your candy. Get the scare.
Roger saying Washington is a hard place to win.
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That place is loud. If you've not been up there, we have to pick a meetup for Friday night too.
I don't remember what we did last time, or if we did do one
Did we
last
do
time.
one?
But I like Seattle. I like the Washington campus. I like the Washington Stadium right there on the water. I know Ryan wants to sailgate at this one. I would love to do that. He's been talking smack about my sea legs, but I'm ready. I can handle it. If anyone knows a sailgate that we can crash, let us know, because I'm 100% 10 bones down to get it going.
I went, man, it might have even been like
87?
6 years ago.
Okay.
One of our interns, Sonia, I think she was living in the Bay Area, but came up for the game. She did a few things for us, and we took a camera and microphone and went and interviewed. We went on different boats. There was one USC boat, and then we interviewed different people that were, they've been doing this for a long time. There's this one massive boat, and it's like it's not like these permanent docks. They're like these temporary docks, and this yacht kind of thing came in a little too hot and like literally ran into the dock. It was collapsible and stuff, so it wasn't like damaging the boat, but it was like, whoa, what the heck's going on? I think I got some footage of that back in the day. I have to go back and look. But we went on all these different super nice boats, amazing tailgates, catered food, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we'd love to go check that out, do a little social media content from there. So
There's also like I think it's an In-N-Out boat, or it might be a Chick-fil-A boat.
maybe we'd have to do that.
I think last time I saw it it would like go up and people would ride their boat up to it and order on the water. I can't really remember if it was a Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out. I know In-N-Out's like very like California only, but I thought maybe it was an In-N-Out. I don't know. Maybe someone will correct me if they know, but it was one of those two establishments. I'm pretty sure. There's a boat on the water. You can just ride your boat up, sail your boat up. I don't know, and get some delicious food on the sea.
That'd be great. So we'll do, if you're going to go up to Seattle, amazing trip. I think you'll have a good time. A lot of stuff to do in Seattle. If you want to go up early, we will do some kind of event Friday night somewhere. I don't know. We'll plan something. We'll take some suggestions, but yeah, it's good. Have you been up there, Connor?
I've only been in the airport, so I'm excited to
Oh yeah.
get up there.
Don't forget your jacket.
Yeah, seriously. Why was that so funny?
I don't know. 'Cause just the airport is like, I've been in the airport.
Yeah, that's
Seattle
it.
Yeah, it's cool. If you're a Starbucks fan, you can go to the original Starbucks.
Oh, this guy is coffee. I don't know if he's a Starbucks guy, but
Of course, the famous fish market where
Starbucks.
they throw the fish and everything. That's fun. There's a lot of fun stuff. The Space Needle. There's cool stuff to do in Seattle if you've never been. Check it out. But yeah, we'll pick someplace fun and have a little meet up there.
The last time I was in the Pacific Northwest, I think we had an arm wrestling contest, Ryan. So we'll have to do that.
yeah,
again.
the Oregon game. Yeah, rematch.
That was
Rematch in
the
the Pacific
Oregon.
Last year, that was a stalemate.
Yeah.
I think it was a stalemate.
I wasn't trying.
I know. I was left-handed.
I just worked
did it.
out
I just-
earlier the day.
I did
was
it
a little-
backwards,
so-
left-handed. No, but that was like, we've had a few drinks at that point, and it was like, probably shouldn't have done that. But I
I
think
mean,
Chris,
we were leaving that out purposely, but yeah, I facilitated that, so I kind of got that going
yeah,
at that point in the night. So I'll probably try to do that again. But the Washington press box, very nice press box, also good food, and I believe they have post game food too. So all the things Connor wants to hear.
yeah, it is good stuff. And it's, if you've not been, man, like you're up there, and it keeps the noise in. It's got those overhangs that help make it like echoey and stuff. Yeah, pretty fun. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. Unless you guys have anything else.
There's no starred questions or to run through, or we're...
No, I kind of did them as we went.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, sort of light question week, just because USC beat Rutgers, and they're like, meh.
Fine by me, but if there's any last second questions,
Yeah, if you got any last ones,
we'll knock them out.
coming in. We will do a Thursday preview show for USC and Washington. It will be me and Connor, and Jack will be back. We'll take live calls then. So if you wanted to vent a little bit and you couldn't do it today, you could do it then. But we wanted to, we wanted to get Woody Marks on, so that's sort of like made it a little difficult. I probably could have did it, but whatever. We wanted to get Woody Marks on. We got a half hour of Woody Marks. It's pretty
Sure.
cool. We got Chris dressed as a skeleton.
Mr. 10K Bones.
Mr. 10K Bones. Pretty like where are you getting this on other shows? You're not getting this kind of stuff.
No, you're not.
And this is full bodysuit, guys. I'm not like
He's not messing around. I just
Not
zip him up in
messing
the
around.
back.
yeah, full.
It was funny. He walks in. He walks in. Oh, you want to? You can stand up. I'll put the over. Yeah, there you go. Like the overhead cam. You can see it on the thing. He walks into the room and like doesn't say a word. He's just like staring at us in the skeleton costume. He was in the other room, so we couldn't see as we were doing the interview with Woody Marks as he's doing his skeleton 10K Bones dance, and comes up right behind me and is like, "Can you zip me up?" And that was like, "Yes, Chris, I'll zip you up." So it was pretty funny. All right. Oh yeah, Steve says hit the like button. Yeah. You can like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook as well, you can share it, hit that share button and share it with your feed, share it with your friends if you like the show. Hope you do. It's a lot of fun we have a lot of fun doing these. I know the season's not gone the way most USC fans would have wanted, but here we are. Still an opportunity to kind of turn things around a little bit, get some wins, build some momentum, potentially have a good offseason, spend some money, get some good players. boom. And I do like the schematic stuff that's going on the defensive side. I like the coaching staff there. Give some bodies, especially on the lines. Get a little more depth, so you can sustain more injuries than USC has so far. I think you're going to be all right. Oh, Beck wants to know score Washington versus USC. We're going to do that on Thursday.
It's a 2-point spread.
And initial thoughts?
It's one of those spreads that you're like, really?
Yeah.
USC's favored? So
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me. But when the spread doesn't make sense, it's usually the team that you don't think it makes sense about that wins. So that makes me lean USC right now. But, I mean, just based on their track record on the road, and who knows with the injury situation, if they're down 4 out of 5 starters in the defensive backfield, then you can't possibly feel good about them. So we'll see. My early impressions was just it's hard to win on the road. Washington is solid, and USC will be in a tough spot. So initially, I kind of lean Washington, but I need to see the injuries and just the weather, I guess. I saw that it was supposed to be pretty good, so that's encouraging, but we'll see. Seattle weather can always change.
Spider-Man says, without Inside Troy, I would be miserable. Okay, well, there you go. Glad we can bring you a little joy. And Jeff says we need a 50% run ratio, and Joyner needs 10 touches a game.
I agree.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. What do you think, Chris?
Run the ball.
Yeah.
I tweeted it out. Give Quentin Joyner. Woody been great, but save some wear on him. Get Quentin there. You got a really talented young back behind him. You know, at one point was leading the Big Ten in yards per carry. So let him get experience because he's going to be the guy next season. So just a little pullback on Woody to save some wear and tear on him.
Yeah.
Give the young guys some touches.
Our friend Beck is like he's very sure that USC will lose the game.
Okay. That's fine.
He's like, see you guys next week after a loss. He does love the Sunday shows, though. So thank you. I'm glad you love the Sunday shows.
Fair enough.
Are they more fun when USC loses back? I know it's actually more. The shows are more. I don't know. There's a little more juice to the shows. Yeah, when activity.
So in theory, we would set viewership records if USC went 0-12. Is that what you're saying?
Well, at some point, I think then you would fall off. Like I think. Then apathy would sort of sit in.
I think it would be more fun if they won and they had like a loaded roster. Then I think everyone would be all in.
100%. Yeah. If they addressed some of the things that we all talked about during the whole offseason, like you need this, you need that, and you didn't get them.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
The LSU show was fun in the hotel room after.
We had a blast with that one. Yeah.
So that's I think you got to beat a good team too. Let me change it. Forget the roster thing. You beat a good team. Then the Sunday show is fun.
I think
Rutgers is not a good team.
Yeah, I think Washington would be a good enough one. That'd be the first road win. Pretty good win. A lot of people didn't expect. I think that show would be pretty juiced.
The ship might have sailed though. Which is that? As an employee, should I not say that?
No. No, I think that's fair. Like, is it going to?
Is there any buyback?
Is Washington going to move the needle? It should, but it might not because of everything else that happened. Like Rutgers didn't move the needle.
Not a true Big Ten road win.
Yeah, UCLA, like Notre Dame would probably move the needle. I think Nebraska has the potential.
Yeah,
to move the needle because it'll be a home game. People will be excited. My mom's coming out for that game, so that'll be
tight.
That'll be fun. Yeah, my mom, my uncle will be here. My niece is coming up from San Diego State for the Notre Dame game, so that's going to be her first like big time college football. So there'll be some fun stuff going on, And we had a good time at the Friday night House of Victory tailgate. Forgot to mention that.
Yes, we did.
That was some yummy food.
Those cakes were bomb.
The cake was really good.
Exceptional cake.
Find out where those cakes are from.
From the Rex Steakhouse. They make them.
Oh, that's their
their
own baked goods. Okay,
I believe. I'll double check, but I believe they do their own baked goods and stuff.
Yeah, if you're the baker for the Rex, call me. DM me, email me, whatever.
It was pretty legit. So good stuff. But yeah, there's a couple more, right? You got Nebraska,
Notre Dame,
and Notre Dame. Those are the last home games. Yeah.
And then it's on to basketball season. How about that exhibition win yesterday?
Big win
over Gonzaga.
It's not bad. Yeah, USC gets the Gonzaga win in basketball. Like they're legit. The fact that did you point out? Someone pointed out that Duke beat Arizona State by like 50.
That was me. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So exhibition, whatever. But like you could beat Bobby Hurley and going back to your old school and getting stomped by 50 points, or beating a really good team in Gonzaga. That's going to be a Pac-12 team. going forward. And the USC women's soccer team won the first ever Big Ten championship. They beat UCLA for the Big Ten championship. So that's pretty cool. And women's volleyball is huge in the Big Ten. So I know there have been a lot of battles and stuff there. So there's some cool stuff with the Big Ten.
And
coming
the women of Troy, number 3 preseason team.
For basketball.
Yeah, that's going to be
That'll be a good time. So
that could be a lot of fun. People had fun with that last year with Juju Watkins and everything. We were out in Vegas for her first big game against Ohio State, and we did a one-on-one interview. Me and Shotgun talked to her. Well, Shotgun talked to her. I filmed it, but we did it after the game. She's blown up for sure, and they brought in some big-time transfers and recruits and everything. So USC's favored to win the Big Ten in women's basketball, so there should be some fun stuff there too. But we got football.
We do.
That's where our bread is buttered. That's what people like. But it's nice to have this other stuff, the accoutrements, right, to the football team. All right, well, let's wrap things up because Chris has got to go back to the crypt or grave or wherever.
I call it the Bone Cave.
The Bone Cave? Okay.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come to the Bone Cave, you know where to find me.
Follow him on Twitter at Chris N. Trevino, a.k.a. 10K Bones. All right. We're going to wrap things up for Mr. Triple Double and 10K Bones. I'm Ryan Abraham. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Hope you enjoyed our conversation with Woody Marks, and we will talk to you next time.